So you are required to solve this equation. X plus 3 over 24 is equals to 1 over x minus 1. So you cross multiply. So you have x plus 3. We have x minus 1 is equals to 24 times 1 is 24. So you open the bracket, you have x squared. This is plus 3x minus x, and then we have minus 3 is equals to 24. You rearrange your equation, you have x squared. This will be plus 2x, and this is minus 27 is equals to 0. If we try to solve this using the factor method, it's not possible because we can't get two numbers such that when you add them you get 2, when you multiply them you get minus 27. So this we are going to use the formula x is equals to minus 2 plus or minus the square root of 2 squared minus 4. A is 1 and C is minus 27. So we put 27 and we change this to positive. All this is divided by 2 times 1 is equals to 2. So you find this is equals to minus 2 plus or minus. You multiply this and you find you get the square root. It is 10.39. Implying that divide by 2, implying that x is equals to minus 2 plus 10.39 divide by 2 or minus 2 minus 10.39 divide by 2, and this should give you x is equals to 4.20 or minus 6.20, and this is to 2 decimal places. So that's how you work out that question. Part B, we are told the length of a floor of a rectangular hall is 9 meters more than its width. The area of the floor is 136 meters squared. Calculate the perimeter of the wall. So you can make a sketch to guide you on how to go about it. So that is a rectangular floor, and we are told that the length is 9 meters. So if we say the width is x, then it means the length is x plus 9 meters. And because we are given the area, it means that the area is equals to length or width times length, which is x multiplied by x plus 9, and that area is equals to 136. So if we open the bracket, you get x squared plus 9x. We bring 136 to the left hand side, we get 136 is equals to 0. This is a quadratic expression, and we can get two numbers such that when you add them you get 9. That is when you add them you get 9, and when you multiply them you should get 136 minus 136. So to be able to get that, maybe you can factorize 136. 136, you say it is 2, and that will give you that is 68. Then you would by 2, that will give us 34. You can say by 2 you get 17. We can say 8 multiplied by 17 is 136, and 17 minus 8 is 9. So we can use this to be able to work out that. So we can rewrite our quadratic expression as x squared plus 17x minus 8x. That will give you 9x. Then you minus 136, and that should give you 0. So we factor out what is common in these two. So we'll be left with x plus 17. Then here we factor out minus 8. you will be left with x plus 17 is equals to 0. Once you do that, then you factor out that is common, so we have x plus 17 that will give you, and we'll be left with x minus 8 is equals to 0. Then here we can say x is equals to minus 17 or 8. And since we are talking of length, length cannot be negative, and therefore it implies that x is equals to 8. Therefore perimeter is equals to 2, 8, and 8 plus 9, that is 17, so that will be plus 17, and when you work out that, you should be able to get 50. So that is how you work out that question, and you get yourself 4 marks. So Roman number part 2, we are told a rectangular carpet is placed on the hall, leaving an area of 64 meters squared. If the length of the carpet is twice the width, determine the width of the carpet. So we can make a sketch here to guide us on how to go about it. So if this is the carpet, then we can say that is our length. Let's call it A. Therefore, this means since the length is twice, it is 2A. Therefore, to get the area, it is 2A multiplied by A is equals to the area of the floor was 36. You minus the area that was left, which is 64. So this will give you 2A squared is equals to, this is 136 minus 64, and that should give you 27. So it is equals to 72. We can divide both sides by 2. So we divide by 2. We'll be able to get A squared is equals to 36. So we can get A is equals to plus or minus the square root of 36. A is equals to plus or minus 6. And since we are talking of length cannot be negative, so A is equals to positive 6. If that is the length, that is the width, then we are determined to determine the length of the carpet, which we have gotten, it is 6. And with that, you get yourself 2 marks. Question number 18, we are told 3 business partners, Asha, Nagira, and Cherop, contributed 60,000 shillings, 85,000 shillings, and 105,000 shillings respectively. They agreed to put 25% of the profit back into business each year. They also agreed to put aside 40% of the remaining profit to cater for taxes and insurance. The rest of the profit would then be shared among the partners in the ratio of their contribution. At the end of the first year, business realized a gross profit of 225,000. Calculate the amount of money Cherop received more than Asha at the end of the first year. So amount put back, we can just say put back. Since they had agreed 25%, so it is 25% of the profit, which is 225,000, and you compute that. You can simplify there, then you use your calculator to compute. You'll be able to get that is 56,250. So that was what was put back into business. Balance, you subtract from 225,000 the profit, you subtract 56,250, which will give you, using your calculator, you get it is 168,750. Now 40% of this is also to be put aside for taxes, so you say 40% of 168,750. Using your calculator, you can simplify here. and use your calculator to compute that, you get it is 67,500 Kenyan shillings. So balance, there was 168, so it is 168, 750, you minus 67,500, and you'll be able to get the balance is 101, 250 using your calculator. So this is what to be divided. The amount they had each contributed, you can add 60,000 plus 85,000 plus 105,000, that should give you 250,000. Use your calculator. Now this is the profit which remained is 101, is to be shared among the three according to their contribution. So we can say Cherop had contributed 105,000. You divide by 200 the total amount contributed, and you multiply by the profit to be shared, which is 101, 250. And when you compute that, you'll be able to get that this is 250. You can simplify there by dividing the zeros, and when you multiply that, you find that Cherop got 42,525. Then we can calculate for Asha. Asha had contributed 60,000. You divide by 250,000. You multiply by amount to be divided, 101, 250. You get Cherop got 24,300. Of course, you can simplify there, and you divide that, you multiply with your calculator. So you'll be able to get, since Asha got 42,525, you minus what Asha got, which is 24,300, and when you compute that, you will be able to get that Asha got 18,225 more. That is Cherop more than Asha. Part B of this question, we are told Nagira invested 25,000 Kenyan shilling into the business at the beginning of the second year. Given that the gross profit at the end of the second year increased in the ratio 10:9, calculate Nagira's share of the profit at the end of the second year. So you say, since Nagira had contributed 85,000, he added 25,000. So the new investment is for Nagira is 110,000. So that is his new share. The profit increased by the ratio of 10:9. So we say they had obtained the profit of 101, 250. You multiply by 10:9, and when you compute that using your calculator, you will get it is 112,500. Now it means Nagira is to share. This is you add 25,000. They had a total of 250 in the first year, so you add 22,000 and 50,000. You add 25,000 to get the new shares. So this will give you 275,000. That is the total share. This means that this Nagira, since Nagira had contributed now 110,000, you divide by the total share, which is 275,000, and you multiply by the new profit, which is 112,500. and this means that Nagira will get 45,000 in the second year. So that is how you work out that, and you get yourself 5 marks. Question number 19, and we are told the frequency table below shows the daily wages paid to casual workers by a certain company. So we have wages in shillings from 100 to 150, 150 to 200, 200 to 300, 300 to 400, 400 to 600. So the first thing that we should note here is that the interval is not the same. That is, from 100 to 50, we have 50. 100 to 200, we have 50. 200 to 300, we have 100. 300 to 400, we have 100. And 400 to 600 is 200. Then we are given the number of workers. We are told in the grid provided, draw a histograph to represent the above information. So a histograph is drawn like a bar chart, but often has bars of an equal width, like we have here. It is the area of the bar that tells us the frequency in the histograph, not the height. So what we are going to do here is, since we are given the number of workers, we are going to prepare a table that is going to help us to draw the histogram, that is. So let me put my table so that we'll be able to fill the table that I'm going to use. So we have the frequency, we have the cross width, and we have the frequency density. The frequency density is a frequency. This is a frequency divided by the cross interval. So we have the frequency we have already been given. So we have 160, we have 120, we have 380, we have 240, and we have 100. From there, then we have the cross width. The first one is 150 minus 100, you get 50. The second one is 50. We have the third one is 100. We have 100, and then we have 200. So we are going to divide F divided by C, that is frequency divided by the cross width. And here we will get 160 divided by 50, that is 3.2. 120 divided by 50, we get 2.4. Then we have 100 divided 380 divided by 100, you get 3.8. This you get it is 2.4, and this you get it is 0.5. So these are the values. We are going to plot the graph of the frequency density against the wages in shillings. So let's get a graph paper and do that. This is the grid that I'm going to use. I've already inserted my table. So we are going to plot the number of workers by the number of by the frequency density, which we have computed. So I'll say this is our 0. So I say this is 1, this is 2, 3, we have 4. I think the highest density is 3.2, 3.8, so 4 is okay. So we have, this is frequency, that is frequency density. This is a density. Then here we are going to plot the number of workers. So we start with 100, we come to 200, we come to 300, 400, 500, 600. I think they don't exceed that, but we can say maybe 700, no problem. This is a number of workers. So from there, we have our table here. So we have we don't have the number of workers. Maybe let me put that classes of the number of people. So 100 to 150, the frequency density is 3.5, 3.2. So 100 is here, 3.2. We say it is that point. So we will draw a bar graph up to 150 at 3.2. So 150 to 200, it is 2.4. 150 to 200, it is 2.4. So that is where we have our bar. Then from 200 to 300, it is 3.8. So 200, we have 3.8 is there. To 300, to 300 is 3.8. We draw our bar there. Then from 300 to 400, 300 to 400, the frequency density, we have that was 2.4. We have 0.4. So this is where we have 2.4. That is from 300, 2.4 is there, and we put it there. That is, and then from 400 to 600, 400 to 600, then we have it is 0.5. That is 0.5. So this is where we have our 0.5. So that is where we are, the points where we are going to make bars to represent the histogram. So let's do that. So this is our histograms. So you can see that we have plotted the frequency density against the number of workers which we have there. So let's go back to the question and see what is what is required next. Part B, Roman number 1, we are told state the class in which the median wage rise. Now, if you add the number of workers, that is frequency, total up this, that is 160 plus 120 plus 380 plus 240 plus 100, you find that that will give you 1050. So you divide by 2, you'll be able to get 525. So that is where the median wage rise. So the class is 200 to 300. So that's how you answer that, and you get 1 mark. Roman number 2, draw a vertical line in the histogram showing where the median wage rise. So the median wage rise at 525. So let's go back to the grid and do that. So to get the median mark, we are going to take 600, you minus 100, that is the highest data and the lowest data. You'll be able to come up with 500. We divide by 2, you get that is 250. 250. So it means the median lies at 250 and 251. So we get the value 2.250.5. So we get we draw a line here showing the median. Let's put that. So the blue line shows the median, which we can maybe this is the median. Let's go back to the question and see what is expected again. Part C, you are told using the histograph, determine the number of workers who earned 450 shillings or less per day, and you get 3 marks. So that is what is expected. Question number 20. In the diagram below, the coordinates of point A and B are 16 and 15.6 respectively. point N is on OB such that 3ON is equals to 2OB. So we can say 3, that is 3, and that is 2. Line OA is produced such that to L such that OL is equals to 3OA. So we can say that is 1 and that is 2. So that OL is 3OA. Find vector Ln. So we can start by saying 3ON is equals to 2OB. These are vectors. So we can say, and we also know that OL is equals to 3OA. This means that we can have our ON is equals to, we divide both sides by 3, it is 2 over 3 OB. And we also have OL. We have OL here, so we don't need to write that. And we know that from L to N, so Ln is equals to minus OL, and we have minus OL plus ON, which is equals to ON minus OL, and with that we already have ON. ON is equals to 3, that is 2 over 3, 2 over 3 OB, that is ON, minus, we also have OL, which is 3OA, and we can get these vectors. This is equals to our OB is 15, 3, that is 2 over 3. Our OB is 15, 6 minus our 3, and our OA is 1, 6. So this will give us, when you open the bracket, this will be 2 over 3 times 15, that will give us 10, 2 over 3 and multiply by 6, that will give us 4, and we minus. When you multiply 3 times 3, that will be 3, and there we have 18. So 3 minus 3, 10 minus 3 is 7, and 4 minus 18 is minus 14. So that is our Ln that we have been given. So we can simply say that our Ln is equals to 7 minus 14. So that is how you work out that. Let's go to part B. Part B, we are told, given that a point M is on LMN such that LM into MN is equals to 3:4, find the coordinates of M. So here we can say, if we put our M there, the ratio we have been given here is 3:4, so we can write our ratio like that, and therefore we can get our OM is equals to, move from O to M, you can move from O to L, L to M, or ON, you move to NM, and therefore I'm going to choose this option. So it is OL plus LM. So we know that LM is the same as 3OA. Then we have plus our LM is a fraction, so we say it is 3 out of 7 of Ln, and we had worked out Ln in the part A. So this is equals to 3. Our OA is 1, 3, and we have plus, this is 3 over 7, and our Ln is 7 minus 14. So you can work out that. So this is 3 and 9. No, this is 6. Let's correct that. So this is 6. So let's correct that. So that is 6. So when you multiply, this should give you 18. We get 18 here. So plus When you multiply here, 3 over 7 times 7, that will give you 3. And this will give you minus, that will be 2 minus 6. So this is equals to 3 plus 3 is 6, and 18 plus minus 6 is 12, meaning the coordinates of M are 6 and 12, and that is how you work out that to get 2 marks. So part C, Roman number 1, if line OM is produced to T, which I have already done, such that OM is to MT is equal 6:1, find the position vector of T. So we are looking for OT, where we can say, okay, here we have 6:1, therefore OT is the same as 7 over 6 OM, where we had computed our OM, so it is 7 over 6. Our OM is 612, so that will give us, multiply here by 6 times 7 over 6 times 6, that will give you 7, and we multiply that will give you 14. So OT, position vector OT is equals to 7, 14. So that's how you work out that, and you get yourself 1 mark. So Roman number 2, part C, we know that we are to show that LT and B are collinear. Collinear points means they all lie on a straight line. So we can draw a line passing there. And how do we prove that? If we are able to express like LT in terms of LB. So what you do is we can start by saying LT is equals to OT minus OL, where we know OT we found it is 7 and 14, and we minus our OL, which is 3 OA, which is 3 and 18, and we will be able to get 7 minus 3 is 4, and 14 minus 18, that should give us minus 4. So that is LT. Again, we can say TB is equals to, TB is the same as minus OT plus OB, so it is OB minus OT, which is equals to 15, 6, that is our OB. We just invert the coordinates, minus our OT, which is 7, 14, and this you get, it is 8, and here it is minus 8. So that is what we get, and we can say this is equals to, now OT we can say it is 2, and this will be 4. We factor out 2, and that is 4. So you can see now this vector is the same as this one, and therefore we can say TB is equals to 2 LT. And this means that they are collinear because we have managed to express one vector, that is LB, in terms of LT as a multiple of LT, and also they share a common point, which is T. So they are collinear. As you can say, they are collinear. And that is how you work out that question. You get 4 marks. Number 21, part A, we are told in the ratio of Juma's and Akinyi's earnings were 5:3. Juma's earnings rose to Kenya shilling 8,400 or 8,400 after an increase of 12%. Calculate the percentage increase in Akinyi's earning given that the sum of their new earnings is 14,100, and you get yourself 6 marks. So this is a very easy question, and awarded good marks if you only follow the right procedure. So we can say if the new salary of Juma is 8,400 after an increase of 12%, we can get can call it odd earning of Juma. So we can say the new salary is 8,400. This is 112 because of 12% increase. You multiply by 100, you get the odd salary, and using your calculator, you get it is 7,500. So once you get that, since we have been given the ratio of Akinyi, Juma, and Akinyis, so you say if the salary of the old salary of Juma was 7,500, so you say to let the salary of Akinyi be X, it is equals to 5:3. So you can say that is 7,500 divided by X, that is we write the ratio in fraction form, is equals to 3, implying if you multiply X here, you'll be able to make X the subject. So X is equals to 7,500, you multiply by 3 and you divide by 5, and using your calculator, you will be able to get that X is equals to 4,500. So that is the Akinyi's salary. So after they were added, the salary came to 14,100. So you can get the new Akinyi salary, new Akinyi salary. It is the total salary, the total of the new salary minus the salary of Juma, which is 8,400. That is the new salary. At using your calculator, you get this is 5,700. So the increase is since she was earning 4,500, so you minus 5,700, you minus 4,500, so you find the increase is actually, using your calculator, it is 1,200. So we can say the percentage increase is equals to the increase divided by the old salary, which is 4,500. We have already computed that, and you multiply by 100. So using your calculator, you can simplify that, and this will give you 26 2/3, which, or you can say it is 26.7%. This is percent. This is to 1 decimal place. So that's how you work out that question, and you get yourself 6 marks. So 21, question number 21, part B, you are told Juma and Akinyi contributed all the new earnings to buy maize at 1,175 Kenyan shillings per bag. The maize was then sold at 1,762.50 cents per bag. The two shared all the money from the sales of their maize in the ratio of their contribution. Calculate the amount that Akinyi got. Now, the total earnings was 14,100. A bag was costing 1,175. So when you divide that, you can get the number of bags they were able to buy with the money they got. So when you divide that, you get that they were able to buy 12 bags of maize. These 12 bags, they sold at 1,762.50 cents. So it means per bag, so you can say, we can calculate profit is equals to, the one bag was sold at 1,762.50 cents. You minus the buying price, which is 11.75, that is the profit per bag, and you multiply by 12 bags, and using a calculator you will be able to get that. They got 7,050 shillings. That is what you get when you compute that. Now we can get the ratio of their contribution. And you find that Juma contributed 8,400, and Akinyi contributed 5,700. So when you simplify that, you'll be able to get this is 28 to 19. So it means Akinyi got 19 out of, if you add 28 plus 19, that will give you 47. So this means that Akinyi's profit, you can get, it is 19 divided by 47. That is a total of 28 and 19. That should give you not 45 but 47, and you multiply by the profit they got, which is 7,050, and this would give you, when you work with your calculator, 2,850. So total earning for Akinyi, total earning for Akinyi, Akinyi would be his salary, that is equals to, his salary was 5,700, and then you add the profit that she got from maize selling, which is 2,850, and when you add that, he got Kenyan shillings 8,550. So that is the total amount that Akinyi got after they did that business, and that is how you get 4 marks. And when you total with 6 marks of part A, you get 10. And this is a question you can manage to get whole mark of, that is 10 marks, very easily. This is question number 22 on construction. Using a pair of compass and a ruler, construct Roman number 1, a triangle ABC, in which AB is equals to 5 centimeter, angle BAC is 30 degrees, and angle ABC is equals to 105. A circle that passes through the center of the triangle, through the vertices of ABC, measure the radius. Number 3, the height of the triangle ABC with AB as a base, measure the height. Determine the area of the circle that lies outside the triangle, correct to 2 decimal places. Now at the moment I don't have the what I need to construct this, so for the time being I'll just guide you on how to go about it. Maybe I'll do it later once I get the what I need to use to be able to construct that. So the first thing that you do is you construct a line. You use a ruler and make a line, then use your compass or divider and measure 5 centimeter and label this is your AB. Then here you are being tested whether you know how to construct angle 30. Angle 30, you can take 60 degrees, you divide by 2 is equals to 30 degrees. So how do we construct an angle of 60? You make a mark from A, because this is the angle BAC. You make a mark there using this point, and you make another one. So when you join that point, this is 60 degrees. So you bisect this angle the way we bisect an angle, and that should give you the triangle, that is the line AC. Then you construct angle 105. one of the ways you can do that is by making an angle of 60 and then make an angle of 45. So you can extend that. You can make an angle of 60 here, so that is angle 60. Not in that direction. I think that's we need to make a mark on this side. You make a mark there, so that is the angle of 60. You can extend that line. Use this point to construct an angle of 90. So you can make two marks like that. Make two arcs here. You come up with angle 90. Then you bisect this angle, and you'll be able to get now that is where you'll be able to get the position of C. So that is how you construct that. Part B, a circle passes through the vertices A of triangle ABC. Measure the radius. So this, you bisect the line AB in the two lines of the triangle. So you can bisect by making two marks on both sides using a point A and B, and you bisect that line. You also do this the same to this one. You do this, you bisect BC. You come up with a line where the two line meets. That is where the circle, you draw that as a radius, and you'll be able to get the circle that touches the three vertices of a triangle. Part B, part A, Roman 3, the height of ABC with AB. So you extend AB, put your compass here, make two arcs here, and you bisect. You make another arc there. You draw a perpendicular, then you measure that height. So the part B, determine the area of the circle that lies outside the triangle, correct to two decimal places. So what you need to do, since you can take the three sides of a triangle or the angle, calculate the area of the triangle. You have the radius of the circle, calculate the area of the circle, then subtract the area of a triangle from the area of the circle. You'll be able to get the area of the circle that lies outside the triangle, correct to two decimal places. So that's how you do that question. I hope soon I will be able to do it using the correct instrument, so that you can be able to follow. But I hope that is going to assist you to be able to do that question. Question number 23, we are told the equation of a curve is y is equals to 2x cubed plus 3x squared. Part A, find the x-intercept of the curve, and you get 2 marks. So what you need to understand here is that the y-intercept is where the graph cuts the x-axis. So if you say that is our x-axis, y-axis, this is our x-axis, the point where, for example, if we say it is this point where the graph cuts the x-axis, that is our x-intercept. So you can see at that point the value of y is 0. So this means that at the x-intercept, y is equals to 0, and therefore we can equate 2x cubed plus 3x squared is equals to 0. So we can get, this is a cubic function equation, so we can factor out x squared, and we'll be left with 2x plus 3 is equals to 0. This means that x is equals to x squared is equals to 0, or 2x plus 3 is equals to 0. We say that because when you multiply two numbers or two factors, you multiply x squared times what is inside the bracket, then one of them must be equals to 0, and therefore this means that x is equals to, you get the square root of both sides, square root of x squared and square root of x 0 is 0, so x is equals to 0, or in this we take 3 to the other side, it becomes minus, and we divide by 2, so it means, or x is equals to, we say it is minus 3 over 2. So that is where the graph cuts the x-axis, and by doing that you get yourself 2 marks. In Roman number 2, we are told to find the y-intercept. Again, if I may demonstrate, if this is our y and this is our x, the y-intercept is where the graph cuts the y-axis. Let's say it is there. So you can see at that point x is equals to 0. And remember, our equation was, or our function was, y is equals to, we have 2x cubed plus 3x squared. So that was our function. And therefore, at the y-intercept, so y-intercept, x is equals to 0. So we substitute here in our function here. So x, you substitute 0 there and 0 there. So you find that 2 multiplied by 0 cubed is 0. So that will give us 0, plus 3 times 0 squared, that will give us 0. So our y is equals to 0. So that is the y-intercept, and you get 1 mark. Part B, Roman number 1, we are told to determine the stationary points of the curve. So remember, our curve was y is equals to 2x cubed plus 3x squared. First of all, we must understand the stationary point is where are the turning points, or if I may put it here, if we put that is our y-axis and this is our x-axis. So if we say our graph looks like this, so this is the turning point. So that is the turning point. And the gradient at that point, if you draw a line touching the turning point, it will be a straight line or parallel to the x-axis. And the gradient of a line parallel to the x-axis is equals to 0. This means we can get the gradient by saying differentiating dy over dx is equals to 2 times 3, that will give us 6x squared. We minus 1 from 3 or index 3, plus we multiply 2 times 3, that will give us 6. We minus 1 from 2, we get 6x. So this means since this is a gradient, it means that at stationary point, point dy over dx is equals to 0, and you can see this is a cubic function, so it means it has several terms. Therefore, since our dy is equal to 6x squared plus 6x, so it means that our 6x squared plus 6x is equals to 0. We can factor out 6x. So inside the bracket, we will be left with here we will be left with x. Here we will be left with 1 is equals to 0. So it means 6x is equals to 0, or x plus 1 is equals to 0. And with that, we can now say, if you divide here both sides by 6, 0 divided by 6 is 0. So it means our x is equals to 0. Or in this case, we take 1 to the other side, it becomes negative once it crosses the equal sign, and therefore x is equals to minus 1. So these are the stationary points, and therefore when you substitute, you can substitute x is equals to 0 in our function. So x is equals to 0. You find y here, 2 times 0 cubed plus 3 times 0 cubed will give you 0. So y is equals to 0. If you substitute x is equals to 1, this will give us 1 cubed is 1, 1 cubed squared is 1. So this is 2 plus 3, 2 plus 3, and that should give us 5. So y is no, here we substitute minus 1, not 1. So this will be minus 1 cubed is minus 1, times 2 is minus 2. Here x squared is 1 times 3, so that will give us 3. So minus 2 plus 3 is equals to 1. So y is equals to 1. Therefore, our turning point, we can say it is, so here y is equals to 0, and here y is equals to 1. So our turning points are 0, 0, and the other one is we have, when we have minus 1, y is 1. So those are our turning points, and by doing that you get yourself 3 marks. So Roman number 2, we are told for each point in B Roman 1 above, determine whether it is a maximum or a minimum. So what this means is we are required to find out. We already know our function is equals to 2x, that is 2x cubed plus 3x squared. We also know our dy over dx is equals to 6, that is, this is supposed to be cubed, 6x squared plus 6x. So that is our function. So to find whether it is maxima or minima, we have already found our turning points. Our turning points are minus 1 and 1 and 0, 0. So what is expected from you to find whether it is maxima? Maximum is when our turning point is of this nature, that is inside out. Our minima is of this nature. We can combine them. So this is a minima, and that is that point, and this is maxima. So how do we find that? We are going to take one point, that is this point, and you are required to find the gradient. The gradient may be 1 point to the left. So if we say this is our Cartesian plane, and we know our turning point, maybe we can put that one, that is 1, and that is minus 1. That is our x is minus, we know our turning point here. So we find the gradient of at 1 point. So we can take, maybe this is our x, this is maybe we can take minus 2, and we look at the nature of the gradient, whether it is positive or negative. So we can take minus 2. So we come here and say that x is equals to minus 2. We substitute in our gradient here. So this is 6 multiplied by 2 squared, multiplied by, not this is 2, that our minus 2, which is squared, and then we had plus our 6 multiplied by minus 2, 6 multiplied by minus 2, and that will give us, this will be 4, that times 6, that is 24, and this will be minus 12, that is, this will be 6 multiplied by minus 2, that will give us minus 12, and this will give us is equals to 12. So we can say the gradient here is positive, and the nature of the gradient is of this form. When it is negative, the gradient is take that shape. Then we take 1 point, and because our the other turning point is at 0, 0, we can take maybe minus 0.5, minus 0.5. So we substitute in our gradient, and when you do that, you say this is 6 multiplied by, we can use a dot to make it a bit simpler, 0.5. That dot implies multiplication, and that is squared, and you add to 6 multiplied by minus 0.5, When you compute this will give you 1.5, and this is will give you 3, that is minus 3. So this is equals to 1.5 minus 3 is equals to minus 3 divided by 2, or minus 1.5. That is negative. So this is negative. Here it is positive. So we have we can now complete and say, so then we have our turning point. The nature of a negative gradient is that looks like that. So what it means is that the nature of this point is maxima. Then we look at the other point. The other turning point is 0, 0 at 0, 0, and we want to look at the nature. We have so here we take at 0, 0, we can take minus 0.5, which we have found that the gradient here, which we have worked out here, the gradient is negative. So at minus 0.5, dy over dx is negative. So the nature of a negative gradient looks like that. That is negative gradient. Then we have the turning point at 0, 0. So the other one is we look at the gradient. Since we are at 0, turning point is at 0, 0. What about when we take 1? So we substitute 1 in our gradient. That will give us 6 multiplied by 1 squared plus 6 multiplied by 1, and that is going to give us 12. So the gradient, so dy over dx is positive, and the nature of the positive gradient is like that. So when the shape is like that, this is minima. So this is minima. So we can say at 0, 0, the gradient is the stationary point is minima, and at 1, 1, this is that point, the gradient is maxima. So that's how you determine whether a point is minima or maxima, and you get yourself 3 marks. That should not take you wrong. It's only that because I'm revising this question, I should just take you maybe 1 minute or 1.5 minutes to determine that. Part C, you are told to sketch the graph, and remember we have said that at minus 1, that is a turning point. At that point, minus 1, 1 is we have said it is maxima, and at 0, 0, you have said it is this is maxima, and this is minima, as we have said in the previous part. So to sketch this, remember, note the word is to sketch. So you are not expected to have a graph and make the exact curve, or it is not provided. If you check from the question, so what you do is you just make a sketch of the graph. So you make y and x axis. So this is a 0. This is can say this is minus 1, and we can say this is 1. So the turning point, one of the turning point is there, and the other one is at 0, 0. So if you combine this, you'll be able to come with a sketch of that graph. So our graphs look like that, and that is the shape of so what is expected here is just to show the shape of the function, the graph of the function as a sketch, and there you get yourself 2 marks. So that is what is expected from you, and it's a very simple question. See, if you just follow the right procedure, you should be able to score maximum marks, that is 10 marks, and this kind of question would boost your score. Question number 24, part A, we are told on the grid provided, draw a graph of y is equals to a half x squared minus x plus 3 for 0 less than or equals to x less than or equals to 6, and you get yourself 3 marks. So for us to be able to do that, okay, we have our function y is equals to a half x squared minus x plus 3. Because of space, I will not expand my table. I'll just have the values of x and y. But you can do that when you are when you have enough space, so that you eliminate the chances of making an error. So this I will just use 2 rows. So this is our x and that is our y. So we have 0, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and finally we have 6. So you just pick the values of x and you substitute in your function. For example, y is equals to, when x is 0, a half times 0 is 0, and this will be minus 0 plus 3. So it means that our y is 3. When you substitute x is equals to 1, you'll be able to get 2.5. The other one you'll be able to get 3. Then you have 4.5. Then you have 7, and you have 10.5, and finally you have 15. So these are the values that you get when you substitute your the values of x in the function. So with that, we come and say this is on our graph, on our grid. We can start with 0. We have 1, we have 2, we have 3, we have 4, we have 5, and we have 6. So that is our x-axis. And y, the highest value of y is 15. So you can say, let's say we have, we can say we can't use 1 unit. So let's say we have, we can have 5, we have 10, and we have 15, we have 20. I think that will give us a good scale. So that is our y-axis. From there, we plot the graph. So when x is 0, y is 3. Since here we have 10 units representing 5, so it means 1 unit is represented by 2 small squares. So that is where we have our point. When x is 1, it is 2.5. So this is 1, 2, 2.5. We have our point there. When x is 2, y is 3. So we have 1, 2, 3. That's where we have our value there. Then when x is 3, y is 4.5. So this is where we have 3, 4, 4.5 will be there. Then when x is 4, y is 7. So here it is 5, 6, 7. So we have our point there. Then when x is 5, y is 10.5. So 5, this is 10, 10.5 we have there. Then when x is 6, y is 15. When x is 6, y is 15. So these are the points that are going to guide us to plot the curve of the function y is equals to a half x squared minus x plus 3. So using your free hand, you join these points and you come up with the graph. So part B, you are to calculate the midpoints of for 5 stripe, x is equals to 1 and x is equals to 6, and hence use the mid-ordinate rule to approximate the area under the curve x is equals to 1, x is equals to 6, and the x-axis. So the mid-ordinates, what we do is we read the points which we have here. The mid-ordinate, that is from 1 to 6, and from the graph you'll be able to get from that is from 1.5, the midpoint, that is at 1.5 the midpoint is 2.7, and at 2.5, that is a first stripe. The second one is at 2.5. The mid ordinate will be 3.7. Then at 3.5, the mid ordinate will be 5.5, and then we have 4.5. We have the mid ordinate is 8.5, and at 5.5 the mid ordinate is 13. So we approximate those values, and therefore with the values we'll be able to get the area. So the area is using the mid ordinate rule. Area is equals to the height is 1. You multiply by the sum of the mid ordinates, that is 2.7 plus 3.7 plus 5.5 plus 8.5 plus 13, and that should give you the area, which is equals to 33.4, and these are square units. So that is how you get the area. From there we go to part C. Assuming the area estimated by integration to be actual area, calculate the percentage error in using the mid ordinate rule. So to get the area using the integration, we are going to integrate the function I have x squared minus x plus 3, and the limits are from 1 to 6. So if you integrate that, you'll be able to get, you integrate this, you'll be able to get, this will be x cubed divided by 6 minus a half, that is minus a half x squared, and then we have plus 3x. You close the bracket, and the limits are 1 to 6. And when you compute that, you will be able to get that 3.3 to 1 decimal place. Now, to calculate the percentage error, we say that, let me use this space here. You say that you subtract the 3.4 minus that 3.3, that will give you 0.1. You divide by the actual area which we have obtained by integrating that 3.3, and you multiply by 100. And when you compute that, you'll be able to get the percentage error is 0.3%. So that's how you work out that question. I have used a lot of shortcuts because of space, but in an exam paper, you have a whole page to do the calculations and show all your work. But that is how you generally go about that question.